done that, let's go into the files. So I started to get curious because I started to see Puerto Rico be mentioned. And I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. So Puerto Rico has been mentioned quite a lot, actually, in the files. J-Mail, this was created by Dropsite News. They've done an incredible job where they've kind of created it to look like the emails, but it's from Jeffrey Epstein's, like it's from the data. Okay. And Puerto Rico is mentioned 1,757 times. I have not finished going through the files, but the latest drop, the drop with 3 million, had over 5,000 plus times where Puerto Rico is mentioned. And I've downloaded quite a few, and I kind of want to go into them because I think it's really important for various reasons. I think that Jeffrey Epstein used Puerto Rico to traffic humans. I think Jeffrey Epstein also had another island, another area. I think that specific area was called the farm. And I will show you why. I do want to give credit where credit is due, because the person who first stood out for me. My nose is excuse me. Was this Twitter account. So I want to give credit to Carlos Vibe Describer. They are a Caribbean freelance journalist. And because of their reporting, that's how I caught interest in Puerto Rico. So I want to give credit where credit's due. This is the reason. So go give them a follow. Yes, ma'am. So there's a few that I wanted to show before really going deep into the files. So this one caught my eye. Memo from Puerto Rico's Economic Industrial Development Agencies about Act 22, also known as the Individual Investor Act, found within the newest Epstein files dropped from the DOJ. Unclear who it was sent to, likely widely circulated among potential investors. So basically, it's kind of talking about the Department of Economic and Development of Commerce. Puerto Rico is known to have made investments like... Why does it do that? That's fucking obnoxious. Investments where investors and crypto bros can go to Puerto Rico and they're not going to have to pay taxes. I have a video about that I kind of want to watch after. Okay. Epstein received an email from someone by the name of Igala Joseph about tagging palm trees in Puerto Rico. Unclear what the context of the situation was. After going through most of the files, talks about Puerto Rico. I think Igala Joseph was kind of like his assistant who ran the farm. The farm is what they kept bringing up. It's almost like they used the farm and trees as code words, kind of like how in the vacation email he used like pizza. Here they would use trees. So, and I think that Igala Joseph ran the Puerto Rico farm. So this is Igala Joseph to Jeffrey Epstein. Good afternoon. I was told I am to return to the farm in Puerto Rico to tag more trees. I want to be 100% sure that you want me to tag 80 more trees. In parentheses, which along with 20 I previously tagged would be 100 total trees. Also, are all the trees to be coconut palms, or do you want some other varieties as well, such as fishtail, date palms, coco pimoso, robellini? Please advise. Thank you, Igala Joseph. Okay, so he sent that to Jeffrey Epstein. Then this man named Gary Kearney CC'd Igala Joseph, as well as this person, Imad Hanna. We don't know who it's from, though. Agree, commander draws minutes 15 feet, not loaded, and is 250 feet long. This was in response. I would wait for our repaired barge to go to Puerto Rico, even if it was to make 2 trips. Short version. Let me know if you want the long report. So that's that one. This one is from Richard Kahn to Jeffrey to Richard Kahn. No, Richard Kahn to Jeffrey Epstein. Richard Kahn was Jeffrey Epstein's main accountant. He was the one that ran his businesses, and he was the one that dealt with the money. Washington Post article, Exodus from Puerto Rico grows as island struggles to rebound from Hurricane Maria. I think, this is just me personally, I think that because Hurricane Maria is mentioned a little too much for my liking, Hurricane Maria erased the farm. Because remember, Epstein died by suicide in 2019? When did he die by suicide? When did Epstein die? Yeah, 2019, okay? This was 2018. I think that he knew that he was under more scrutiny. Trump was president, and he was kind of he was probably grateful that Hurricane Maria destroyed the farm, which means Hurricane Maria destroyed the evidence. Okay. Next one. Jeffrey Epstein owned more than one property in Puerto Rico in 2017, per email from Deutsche Bank, which we already know. Deutsche Bank is really bad. Deutsche Bank is involved in a lot of illegal shit. The email answers questions about a 100K transfer to First Bank Puerto Rico to an account of a company seemingly solely owned by Epstein. So it's from Cynthia Rodriguez. Her name comes up a little bit too. I think she was the Puerto Rico accountant, I'm guessing, but her name is brought up. It says, "Hi, Danya. The client has provided the following response to your below inquiries. 1. The purpose of this outgoing wire is to fund Mr. Epstein's Cyprus Inc. account at First Bank Puerto Rico, which he solely owns. This corporation currently holds the title to one of Mr. Epstein's properties in Puerto Rico. This wire was used to pay the real estate of his Puerto Rico properties. Please let us know if any further information is needed. Thank you." And this is Cynthia Rodriguez. Okay. Someone sent an email to Epstein about the University of Puerto Rico. Unclear what this email was about to me, but it seems like the emailer was possibly looking to study at the UPR Law School. So, also, why is this person redacted? Who the fuck knows? To Epstein from whoever. This is from 2011. I am on the Uni of Puerto Rico website, and it's in Spanish. Only in Spanish. Does it mean that I will have to study Spanish law? And I'm trying to figure out if I could pass California bar after this party law school. And party law school, they even have no link contacts on their website. Jeffrey, how is it possible to believe you that the name of the school doesn't matter? I also saw that Puerto Rico is very close to your island. This is another reason why I think that they used Puerto Rico to traffic. Because you don't need a passport. And if you can fake an ID to travel from Puerto Rico to the United States, all you have to, so basically they bring the girls to Epstein's island, bring them to Puerto Rico from in the farm, then from the farm they give them fake IDs, then bring them to the United States. Epstein has forwarded information about Puerto Rico's tax incentives as well as tax attorneys by Boris Nikolic, biotech venture capitalist, in 2013. Unclear if any meetings actually took place with either men, but Gabriel Hernandez would later be indicted for wire fraud. Okay. So this is to Epstein from Boris. And then it goes back. Okay. Okay. How do I read this stuff? Okay. So from Joanne Johnson first said, Dear Boris, I so enjoyed meeting you and discussing your plans for the future. As promised, I have attached some materials on the burgeoning, I don't know. They fucking don't know how to spell. Tax-friendly environment in Puerto Rico. Also attached are biographies for the following attorneys who have familiarity with Puerto Rico's issues. And it gives Seth Enton Greenberg Traig, Gabriel Hernandez, BDO, Carlos Serrano, McConnell Valdez. Additionally, I've attached biographies for Willa Zabel, Loretta Ippolito, and Lee Connie. All of them are excellent New York-based trusts and estates lawyers who have strong experience on tax plan and cross-border issues, fund formation, and planning. As we discussed, we would be pleased to organize a day when you might interview these lawyers here at JPM so that JP Morgan? I don't know what JPM means. JPM, so that you can make a efficient yet informed decision regarding whom you should hire. Please call. Okay. So then when you scroll up, I think this will interest you. There are 3 documents with what are interesting. Mayor Brown, for me, the most interesting, B. So, and then there's pictures. So there's that one. This one also caught my eye. Brock Pierce and Jeffrey Epstein email thread from December 2018. Would love to connect with you in Puerto Rico. Have the people here now that are relevant to the conversation we should be having, Pierce wrote. This is little I won't do for you. Okay. Who is Brock Pierce? Why do I feel like that's an actor? But I don't think so. Okay. So Brock Pierce, I'm in Puerto Rico. I can come to Florida anytime if useful. Are you giving a keynote here? I seem to recall some mention. I'm speaking January 16th, Mar-a-Lago. Are you in the Caribbean by chance? I am currently 2 blocks from Mar-a-Lago. Would love to connect with you in Puerto Rico over the next few days, if possible. Have the people here now that are relevant to the conversation we should be having. Alternatively, there's a boat in Antigua the 17th to 20th full of amazing Ukraine's finest. We know that they were kidnapping and trafficking Ukrainian girls. So there's indication of that. Brock, there is little I won't do for you. Your friend Reza is not for real. This makes me fucking sick. Who's Brock Pierce? I don't know. Who is Brock Pierce? He was in the Mighty Ducks? Is this the same person? This motherfucker was in the Mighty Ducks? Philanthropy and politics. He founded the Integro Foundation to support Puerto Rico and Brock Pierce Foundation. In 2020, he ran as independent to president. In 2000, allegations regarding sexual misconduct were made against him and others at the Digital Entertainment Network. These accusations were dismissed by the plaintiffs without compensation, and he was never charged. This guy with the stupid hat? Well, apparently he's a prominent figure in the crypto industry, co-founding companies like Tether, Blockchain Capital, and Block.one, and previously ran as independent in 2020. Okay. Awesome. Great. Well, apparently he's in the fucking files. No one's talking about that one. Another one. Jean-Luc Brunel. Now, Jean-Luc Brunel was the Jeffrey Epstein of Europe. He also died by suicide in 2020 in a French jail, which I too will always say he didn't actually. Something happened to him. So this is what it says. Jean-Luc Brunel wrote, first specimen of Puerto Rico. Jeffrey Epstein, I need a new assistant. Seriously, Asian, African, something new. Jean-Luc Brunel, I cannot send you the one who put oil on her hand before giving me a massage with my shirt on. These guys are fucking disgusting. So those were that's the reason I kind of started to really dive deeper into what is going, a little bit more. So let's get into this. I don't know. So I thought maybe we could go through the Gmail files first. I don't think I can I kind of want to go oh wow, okay, wait. So instead of 1700, there's actually 2,431 files. Okay. Ow. Let's go through that. I wish I could go by year, but I don't think so. Can I? Puerto Rico 2010. No, that's gonna be confusing. Let's just do this. Okay, let's start, I guess. Let's go all the way back. Okay. Is this it? Okay. Okay. I want to make sure that I have all of them. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. Okay. Greg Brown's weekend reading and other things. This is Gregory Brown. I don't know who that is. Oh my God, what the fuck? It's an article. About the different vitamin. What? Okay. Gregory Brown. Who's that? Greg Brown has been identified as associate. Okay. Libyan asset. What? Emails from July 2011 indicate that Greg Brown and Jeffrey Epstein discussed a plan to recover billions of dollars in frozen Libyan government funds. Yeah, not enough people are talking about Puerto Rico. That's why I wanted to deep dive in. Documents reveal that during this period, while Libya was in conflict, Epstein and his associates were actively exploring how to access these assets. Okay, what does he look like, though? Okay, all I'm seeing is Epstein. But okay. This is weird. Should you drink cow milk? Is this article? What a weird thing to send. What? I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just like skimming to see where Puerto Rico's mentioned. Because that's just, that's just a very odd thing to say. What? But then it says, so true. The first thing that President Trump signed was an executive order to dismantle what? And then it goes into dismantling Obamacare. Unintended consequences. Trump just proposed $60 billion tax hikes. Why is two of Trump's things are in here? Why is Trump talked about so much? Is this an article? Hypocrisy on steroids. That's funny. I just think it's a Wikipedia. What an odd thing to send. It's just a very odd thing to send. It's like different. They all have to mean something. That's the thing. Every single one of them means something. This is very interesting. Marketing. One buzzword in today's business world is marketing. However, people often ask for simple explanation of marketing. Well, here it is. You're a woman and you see a handsome guy at a party. You go up to him and say, I'm fantastic in bed. That's direct marketing. You're at a party with a bunch of friends and see a handsome guy. One of your friends goes up to him and pointing at you says, she's fantastic in bed. That's advertising. You see a handsome guy at a party, you go up to him and get his telephone number. The next day, you call and say, hi, I'm fantastic in bed. What the fuck? That's public relations. You're at a party and see a handsome guy. He walks up to you and says, I hear you're fantastic in bed. I feel like this is like Cosmo shit. Like, I feel like that's something from Cosmo, like Cosmopolitan. Importance of magnesium. Are you getting enough magnesium? I mean, we know that they were just like drugging the girls. Potassium-rich foods low in sodium. Vitamin E for brain health. Vitamin A and D work in tandem. An estimated 57% of teens and 51% of Americans are at risk for insufficiency or deficiency of vitamin A. What a weird fucking thing. Oh. Okay, next. Greg Brown's weekend reading things. So he just read these things and sent them to undisclosed recipients at 8:01 a.m. Okay. It talks about Emmett Till. What? There's pictures. Bravo, President Obama. I just don't understand how this one is. Bill Maher. Trump is the white Kanye West. It's America's social esteem movement is to blame. God, what a loser he is. I know what these specific things are like from the FBI. But I'm also not seeing Puerto Rico, so I don't really know why these are in here. I just think this is so odd. Like, why would you send this? Oh my God, they're talking about Medicare for all. That's funny. Well, I wonder. They talk about President Obama quite a lot. Or he's reading about President Obama a lot. The real reasons why you've hit the dreaded weight loss plateau. I just don't understand why you don't send a link. You know? Like, why don't you just send a link to the articles? Why copy and paste the entire thing? There has to be a code in here. Because it doesn't make sense. There's no reason to send the entire thing like this. I hope that you have enjoyed this week's offerings and wish you and yours a happy Easter and a great week. Greg Brown. I just think that's so odd. Okay, DOJ Digest. DOJ Digest, Department of Justice, Morning News Digest. Okay, this was 2020. Epstein is dead. Who is this being sent to? I just don't understand. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I don't mean this prevent the delivery described as DOJ. I don't know. This doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. FBI news briefing, September 22nd, 2025. Director Patel says agency investigating theories and questions surrounding Charlie Kirk's murder. DOJ ends probe of border czar Tom Homan for allegedly accepting $50,000 in FBI sting. President Trump ramps up a retribution campaign with push for AG Bondi to pursue cases against his foes. Trump nominates White House aide to be top U.S. prosecutor for office probing Letitia James. Counterterrorism, conservative groups urge FBI to create transgender ideology-inspired violence category amid rising political violence concerns. Analysis how ISIS could use AI to plan its next attack. Opinion. Director Patel doesn't know who Dylan Roof is. How can he stop the next Dylan Roof? Criminal investigation. SWIFT, FBI, NYPD. Response prevents potential school shootings at NYC High School. California man arrested after opening fire on NBC 10 news station lobby in broad daylight. 3 members of MS-13 convicted of 2 murders and multiple attempted murders. Man accused of trying to kill Trump says prosecutors haven't proven an assassination attempt. High school student is fatally shot during FBI and ATF operation in Pennsylvania. South Carolina man gets 14 years for role in fentanyl trafficking conspiracy. FBI drug burn mishap target of DEQ investigation. FBI tech in California said to plead guilty to role in bid rigging scheme. YouTubers aid FBI in dismantling a $64.5 million scam ring that targets seniors. Minnesota officials alerted to housing fraud 2 years before indictment. Former New York officer accused of leaving threatening messages at FBI's agent porch. Florida teen arrested after FBI tip about threats targeting transgender teen. 177 fugitives arrested in massive Georgia operation. Kansas man convicted of receiving child porn. Arkansas man sentenced to 12 years in prison for child porn. Man facing at least 20 years in prison after pleading guilty to multiple armed robbery in Texas. Authorities investigate Alaska bank robbery. FBI seeks public's aid in identifying suspect in Florida bank robbery. Michigan man sentenced to 12 years in prison for robbing Bay County Credit Union, Cyber Division. FBI pushes back against scrutiny over cyber cuts vacancies. FBI hunt lawyer accused of cyber stalking U.S. reporter partner. FBI warns of cyber criminals using fake FBI crime reporting portals. International. I'm just not. Israel drone strike kills 5, including 3 children in southern Lebanon. So are these like just briefings? Other FBI news. It talks about the sweetheart deal. Washington schedule, Trump's schedule. What was he doing from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.? Okay. This man has such an easy fucking schedule. Also, Puerto Rico is not, so I don't really understand why it got pulled. I don't know. Rendon DOJ alert desk. So basically what I'm getting at, what I'm observing, hi Dennis, is this is sent every day to the FBI about things that are happening throughout the world and like schedules and stuff. Interesting. July 2020 alone. There's a lot, but I just don't. The image contains a sex of seal, briefings. Did I debate anyone today? I did not. I did not debate anyone today. Epstein. We're going through his files because Puerto Rico is mentioned over 5,000 times. And I believe that Epstein had a area, kind of like the ranch he had in New Mexico. I think there was something going on in Puerto Rico. So we're kind of going through the files specifically about Puerto Rico. Because one thing that keeps popping up is something called the farm. And another thing that keeps popping up is something called, they keep saying trees, different types of trees. And we know that code words were used continuously with like pizza. There's also a bunch of different kind of specific talks about like how Puerto Rico doesn't really have a lot of taxes for investors. It's also talked about how close Puerto Rico is from Epstein Island. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And I'm just looking through anything. Germany is mentioned in the files too, and I didn't like Merkel, the former leader of Germany, aka like 2006, 2020 to 2020. I think she was leader of Germany. He didn't like her. Probably because she was like a badass. And she actually like did shit and he disagreed with her. Not convinced. Democrats should follow through with the impeachment process. What the fuck? Jackie Spear was asked on CNN's The Lead why she favors an impeachment inquiry. The president has obstructed justice on 12 different occasions, even if he were to be the opinion that he actually didn't get to go all the way through with it because Don McGahn didn't follow through. The intent to obstruct justice is a crime. Reports that House Intelligence Chairman Adam Schiff, a vocal critic of the president, is not convinced Democrats should follow through with impeachment proceedings. He told CNN that the only way Trump will be removed from office is if he is voted out in 2020. He wanted that she lost election, and he had a fake pic of her in her teen times, aka DDR time, aka nudes, fake ones. They are not real, but he still had them. Yeah, he literally was Mossad, and he was a spy for Russia and CIA. I think that's kind of what's insane is like he literally. Oh my God, Crystal Ball from Breaking Points is in this. Reports former outside criticized her former network Thursday for pushing conspiracy theories about Donald Trump and Russia after special counsel Robert Mueller's disappointing testimony after Congress. Ball stressed that her critique was not a personal attack on her former colleagues, many of whom she still considers friends, but complained that nearly all of them. Why is this specifically highlighted? I wonder if Crystal Ball knows this. I love her from Breaking Points. So, interesting. Okay, what else is highlighted? This is the first time any of these are highlighted. Washington Post reports that SCI echoed findings from other Russian government-affiliated cyber actors conducted an unprecedented level of activity against state election infrastructure in the run-up to 2016. Report critical of officials' reaction prior to election. Reports that, according to the government officials, feared that warning the public about ongoing efforts by Russia to subvert the 2016 U.S. elections would sow discord in the integrity of America's voting system. The report revealed that officials at all levels of government were concerned with eroding election integrity and thus chose not to offer detailed warnings to staffers at the state level, which in turn led local officials to not react with. You all suck. Yeah, Russia did a lot of cyber attacks. I think, Russia, just because of some of the things that have come out about Russia, I think he was a Russian asset. Report Senator Minority Leader Schumer called inaction by Congress a disgrace and pledged to keep pushing for votes. Still doing the same fucking thing. So the FBI has to gets all of this. It's every morning. That's it. Just okay. Gregory Brown, dear friend, this is weird. This undisclosed recipients, and why is he? I just think it's weird that he's not just giving the links to these articles, and he's like copying and pasting the entire fucking article. I think that's odd. Does it have to be so hard to fix errors on your credit score? The image is not a chart. It contains the text inline image too. The thing is, like, what we know is everything we've seen, like, everything is not true. Like, what we knew, it's not true. And so that's why, like, I don't trust anything. I just think it's so weird. 2013. Redacted. Why? Okay. Redacted to blank. Why is this redacted? To director and senior staff today. Why is this redacted? It said importance normal. Oh my God. So these are just like the daily news, I guess. Oh, daily. They have to read all of that? That sucks. Hello, can I request to add my ASACs to this distro list? I don't know what that means. Okay. Deal. See, like they're gonna. Hey, Gaza's being talked about. Shocking. I don't. Okay. A Small World. Island hopping, urban escapes, and more. Oh. Then comes 2 millions of theories, like how people are involved or mentioned in the files but didn't do something wrong. Shake my head. Well, I mean, for example, Crystal Ball was only mentioned because she's in like an article. Read the text before, you know. Yeah, no, I agree. I just think it's, I'm very confused as to like some of these things. This is from 1970? Fax transmission sheet. Okay, Jane Doe versus Epstein. Please make check payable to Richard C.W. Hall. Jane Doe 2. Rabbi Yehuda Kolko. Rate $400. Jane Doe 3. John Doe. Wait, John Doe. There's 2 John Does. Jane Doe number 6. John Doe number 2. Who's Rabbi Yehuda Kolko? Let's see. Rabbi Yehuda Kolko. This one, wait, he died from COVID? Okay. Windows 7. Oh, no. Oh, this is a receipt. Jane Doe and blank versus Epstein. Why is this person redacted? But it says likely a victim. Oh, I see it. Yeah, that is a victim. Yes. I thought it was past the V. 23,964. Interesting. From 1970. That's fucking insane. What? Okay. JetBlue reservations from Lessisi to Puerto Rico from New York. 2 seats. Ike Groff. They just would send each other articles. I think it's weird that they didn't just send the links. Like I don't know. I think that's odd. This is from 2025, so recently. Why? Okay. Concierge auctions. I think that this was another thing. There's so many of these types of like biddings, like images of these kind of things, like houses. I think there's one in Puerto Rico. I really do. Named the farm. Chris Delorio. I'm in the receipt of the SEC preliminary denial of my award claim for the Oppenheimer AML covered action 2015-016. Why don't you search the farm? Let's search the farm. There's no way that it's 75,000. What? That's for Connecticut. Leslie Groff was one of his original people. They have cool tall cactus gardens here, and I found a cactus farm and nursery I might be able to get to. Would you like me to go for the island maybe? Naj. I don't know who that is. I'm not. David Stem, Dairy Farm. Mike wants you and me to chat about capital sources. They could not spell for the fucking love of everything. And it's so annoying. Stephanie at the kitchen, celebrate National Farm to School. When was this? 2016. What is this? About salads. Weird thing. Okay. See. Directions from Oxford Airport to Eastover Farm, New York. Hi, John. Can you please forward me the Eastover? This is not it because there would just be what they just would say farm. They wouldn't say Eastover. Maybe farm. Good afternoon. I am told. Okay, this is it. This is some. Agree commander draws min 15 feet not loaded and is 250 feet long. This is unknown to Gary Kearney, Igala, Joseph, Jeffrey Epstein, Ahmad Hanna. This is code for something. I would wait for a repaired barge to go to Puerto Rico, even if it has to make 2 trips. Short version. Let me know if you want the long report, Gary. Igala Joseph, I think, was the person running the farm. Good afternoon. I was told I'm to return to the farm in Puerto Rico to tag more trees. I want to be 100% sure that you want me to tag 80 more trees, which along with the 201 previously tagged would be 100 total trees. Also, are all the trees to be coconut patens, or do you want some other varieties as well as such? Fishtail, date palms, cocoa pilmoso, Robel, etc. Oh, I don't use AI. I don't use AI. AI is not good. Here's another weird. Good afternoon. After speaking with Gary, Kearney, and Bryce about the upcoming plant shipment from Puerto Rico, we are all in agreement that the best thing to do is to make 2 different shipments, mainly because all of the areas are not yet ready to be planted. Also, especially since there is no real disadvantage in doing so regarding shipping with tropical. One shipment now made 2011 and one in about 60 days. The first shipment, I will go to Puerto Rico this week and select and tag 6 bottle palms. For the only area ready to plant by the Western Pool, 10 coconut palms to be planted between master bedroom and library, 50 citrus trees for pop garden fruit orchard, 600 red ginger heliconias for master bedroom, 640 large bougainvillea, 600 one 40-inch refrigerated container for flowers and delicates. This just sounds very weird. That was in 2011 at 7:24 p.m. Hey, boss man. She was an assistant from what I found, because she would talk like that. Hey, boss man. She also sounded young, which is really disturbing. If I go to Puerto Rico tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., come back Thursday morning at 7 a.m., Danny or Carlos will stay the night. Would like to go with my sister Monique. I don't know what this means. Alarm reminder. Are these actual trees? Is fishtail a type of tree? Okay. Fishtail be grown well, that makes it even more confusing then. If it's grown in Puerto Rico. I'm to return to the farm in Puerto Rico to tag more trees. I want to be 100% sure that you want me to tag 80 more trees, which along with the 201 previously tagged would be 100 total trees. $850 each can only get 2 on flat rack. I think something was going on in Puerto Rico. I really do. This one. Hi, Damien. Hope all is well. Not sure if you have seen this. A new bank for crypto traders has opened in Puerto Rico.